There he is again. Always popping up on this podcast one way or another, and apparently I end up popping up on his, even if it's an inadvertent call, I end up on the air with him. But I guess that's how this relationship works, huh, Radio Hope, Mike Myers?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and actually that was pretty cool when you did call. That was neat. Appreciated it.
I'm glad, and I didn't realize that the timing of that was in that moment, so I was happy to kind of soothe you through it, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
Well, what's going on? How are you doing this morning?
Well, so far so good. I'm all excited about having Jake McCauley on this morning from the, what's its official place of work? The Institute on the Constitution.
Oh, that's right. You're talking Electoral College with him today, right?
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. I love you, man. I was not going to remember that. Thank you so much. Wow.
You got it.
I'm forever owning to you or something.
Here's the thing, Mike.
Yeah.
I think that the Democratic Party is going to use this election to say, we don't need to be at the polls. We could do e-voting. We can do online stuff. And that's not the American way, is it?
No. We don't need no stinking vote. We'll just, look how didn't that app they used, didn't that kind of get...
Well, yeah, in your home state, they tried an app, and, of course, the guy who resigned from the Democratic Iowa Party said he never really even used the app before launching it. So I don't know what the whole point was if the lead didn't even try it.
Well, you pass the bill, and then we find out what's in it.
Yeah. How many times have we heard that, right? In so many different ways, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, even recently, she was like, well, we'll figure out what programs get paid after we pass the thing. And it's like, no, we got to figure it out now. And even this week, Mike, they still made sure they got some programs paid through this other bill they unleashed, the $484 billion. And you look at these numbers, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Billions and trillions and zillions. And...
we don't have money, I thought. Like, it's very weird.
Wow. I don't know. It's with the issue going on with my mom, it makes the reason I'm just talking about how crazy things are. So they called me yesterday, and I was supposed to pick her up at 1:00. And first of all, like my little brother said, the right hand doesn't seem to know what the left hand is doing. And they hadn't given her a COVID-19 test yet. So I didn't know if I was picking up somebody who might have had COVID. They were in the hospital. They didn't even test her until yesterday. And she went in on Monday or Tuesday?
Right.
I don't get it.
Wow.
It makes no sense.
So they finally tested her. So when will we know?
Well, they did 2 tests. They did a quickie, and that came back negative. And even that result, they didn't have. They needed to fax that information, fax it, not email it. Fax it to the nursing home, because the nursing home needs to have some kind of legal proof. And why is it that fax are legal, but an email is it because you can jack with an email?
Wait, say that one more time.
Well, what is it about a fax that makes it a legal document more so than... Well, I know what it is, because I know somebody who's messed around with an email and made it something that it wasn't in the first place.
Well, that's the thing. I think fax is like you got the hard copy right there, so that's more legal.
Oh, yeah, you can't just jump in and modify it.
No, you can't, and because whiteout is very noticeable, and whereas emails, I mean, personal experience, I see people when they forward me something, they like delete some stuff that maybe I shouldn't have seen. I don't know. Just you can edit a lot more when you do emails than you can during a fax.
I know of a specific situation of actually it came up in court, and I was focus. Get your point across, Mike. No, you get it across. No, you. This guy had taken an email and changed the heading, and it said that it was a resignation letter.
Oh my God.
It wasn't a resignation letter in the first place. And it changed the course of a ministry that had been around for, almost 100 years, if not 100 years. Isn't that crazy?
That's
Politics.
balls to the wall crazy. That's
Oh,
crazy.
and I got threatened because I accused this guy of financially raping a ministry, and evidently he didn't appreciate that. So,
Oh no, who wants to be, who would be happy to be called that, right? So,
yeah, well, it's not a very
but
flattering thing.
I'm sure it was very truthful what you were saying, though.
Oh, extreme. Yes.
Mm. Well, you know what is interesting is, and this is where I like the local churches, if you know what I mean, like the local ministries. I guess this one in Iowa is a local one too, but in some respects, the local ministry still understands that it's about the people, not so much the donations, and the financial part of it. When you get into bigger ministries, they tend to see the other side of the financial over the people.
Well, yeah, and I hate to say it, but it's one of the issues that I struggle with. There's a guy that wrote a book called Buildings, Bodies, and Bucks that really no buildings, body, bricks, bodies, and bucks. That was it. And I got to tell you, when you've got, I don't know, don't get me started. Like I said, I don't want to tell Jesus he's got an ugly bride because I'm part of that. I can be pretty ugly. So, hey,
we
Jesus.
all have that horrible side to us, but that's why we know he wakes us up still, because he has. I look at it as every day we get an opportunity to get it right. That's why he wakes us up.
Yeah, well, it's getting old.
It's getting old. I don't know. I love it.
No,
I
it's
love still
not.
being able to get up and do things and try and do it right.
Well, the conviction notices, and although, it's not like Father God, beat me because I need some proper fetching, but it's like what's that verse that says the proof that God loves us is that he corrects us, he chastises us. A loving father would just say, "Go play in the street with a blindfold on and put some earplugs in and smile." That was a weird picture right there.
That was kind of weird. Yeah. Yep. Not sure where you were going with that one, Michael.
Well, it's a loving father wouldn't do that and tell you to stay out of the street, and might even give you a little spanky on the cheeky area.
By the way, I was thinking of you last night during the NFL draft because there was a kid from Iowa picked by. I gotta see who he was picked by again, but he was a kid out of Iowa, and I was like, "Oh, there you go, there you go." He was pick 8, the 8th pick in the draft.
Wow.
The Hawkeyes. So.
Yeah.
Their guy Tristan Wirfs was another big pick, and Iowa represented yesterday.
I don't know. You follow things that I'm into pickleball.
Pickleball. How about bocce? I see some of these guys. I mean, because pickleball is about as unique as bocce to me, and I love it. I love seeing these guys play bocce in the park. Of course, you can't do that now because everything's social distanced off. But
bocce? Is that those curved things?
It's actually the ball where you have to roll the ball and get close to the other ball. I don't know. It's like
okay.
It's an old-fashioned game, though. I'll tell you that much. So.
Interesting.
But what did you? Okay, so you were in Iowa when you were a kid. What did you play? Did you play street ball? Did you play anything? What did your kids on the block play?
We played a lot of softball. And we played football in the street. When you could, if there was a car coming, of course, you wanted to get out of the way. Growing up back then, wow, I'm glad you brought that up. That'd be I could do an entire week on that. It was great. I mean, we would take little pieces of wax paper and fill it with dust and then kind of twist it and then throw it at each other and then kind of go, pfft. I mean, it's like, hey, that's cool, man.
Nowadays, you'd be known as child abuse. It's kind of the way it is now.
Hey, catch this yard dart. That was a dumb thing at night to throw a yard dart up in the air and
right. But you remind me, that's why even the '90s generation is still a little bit old-fashioned compared to what we have now. Because now everybody's babied when they're a kid because they're so worried. Oh, if I don't get, if these kids. If I'm too tough on them, they'll call child services. It's very very fine liney, if you will.
Yeah, I used to tickle one of my little squirts, and I would say, "Watch out, or I'm going to beat you. I'll beat you," and then I would tickle him. So we're in the store line one day, and yeah, little Nathan says, "Daddy, beat me, beat me." He meant he wanted me to tickle him. He enjoyed being tickled.
Oh my God! What was the store reaction like?
I don't know. I just quickly got. I said, "Shush, hush. I'll beat you when we get home." Okay. No, that's what I could have said.
Oh man, that's funny. Well, that's why kids are funny also, because they repeat everything they hear, even in the public setting.
Oh, and then you got little ones sitting in front of the TV and they're cussing up a storm, and it's like I looked at my wife and I said, "Where are they hearing that?" And she looked at me and, a little raised eyebrows. "Oh, hello. You think it's us, maybe?"
Oh yeah, I mean they're showing videos on TikTok and elsewhere of kids now swearing because they've been in quarantine, and the parents, I think, are letting loose all the good words, and so the kids are picking it up little by little.
Well, that's it's kind of a blessing. I guess I don't have that to be.
Well, that's
I'm old.
That's the other thing, is like people were like, "Oh, you can't curse," but I think in reality, kids are going to hear it no matter where they're at. So even if they don't hear it from the parents, they'll hear it outside of the house. And so it's a matter of, do you care if they do, and then if not, well, like, it's just, if you do it, then it won't be as bad because they'll have already been used to it, I guess.
So is it kind of like COVID-19 maybe, or the measles? You need to be. Don't they expose kids to the measles and chicken pox at a younger age so they don't get it?
True, and also I've heard about herd immunity being an answer here, and I've always thought that was sort of a distant world kind of thinking. I didn't realize it'd be American thinking too now.
Yeah. This is all, it's going to be really interesting having Jake on this morning because of in fact, I actually contacted Ed Delgado and said, "Ed, I really need you to come up with some intelligent sounding questions that I can ask Jake, because otherwise, I don't know how I'll be talking about farts and who knows what else. Spiritual O's, and probably wouldn't.
Come on, you knew your Constitution, your amendments. I heard they're making one after all this is done.
What, really?
Yeah, no handshakes will be allowed moving forward. That's going to be the 18th. That will be a new amendment to the Constitution.
Wow. Can I go ahead and post that on Facebook as being true?
No, because that's fake news. But you know what? Post it anyway, because I think that it just feels like we're in that kind of hysteria, right? That today Congress made it a Bill of Rights amendment, no handshakes.
Oh, I tell you, yeah. Well, there's just bottom line, and this is where I'm at with this. Don't forget to live, people. Don't make sure you have some fun in life. I got me a pooter.
Well, yeah.
You know what that is?
You had mentioned yesterday, but remind me again.
It's a little device you hold in your hand, and then when you squeeze it.
Oh yes, that thing. Yeah. How's that been going?
Well, I haven't gone public with it yet, but I've already got my dollar's worth. I have had so much fun.
I mean, you haven't gone out in public and squeezed it in front of people?
That's pretty childish, isn't it?
I don't know. We have stress balls at the offices and whatnot. I mean, we have stuff to get us through. Well, Mike, I know you wanted to start prepping now, but what other encouragement can you give us today before we let you go to your show? And by the way, Radio Hope, 9 a.m. Eastern is where you can find him. Mike Myers, always giving you interesting conversation day in, day out. What's your last message for today for us? Myers.
I guess, so many. My mommy's back in the nursing home. I got to give her a kiss. I got use the wife's car, so I had to clean the seat off because she got sick. Poor lady. I felt so bad for her. But anyway, so I got to do that. I mean, another God thing as far as I'm concerned. Even though she was covered in vomit, I still got to give her a kiss.
Good. No, that is good to be there through that too. I'm not kidding. Like that is good. Anyway, Mike, I will talk to you tomorrow morning. Well, I'm actually having someone on autism and the impact it's having on the autistic community for tomorrow's show, so I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, and he's a longtime friend and he's an advocate, so I'm excited to bring him on.
Excellent. I think I'm going to have my mom on tomorrow.
That would be beautiful. Well, nonetheless, we'll catch up before 9 a.m. tomorrow, so talk to you soon, Michael.
All right. Thank you.
You got it.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I'm Alex Garrett. We'll be back actually later today with more, but for now, have a great rest of your morning. If you don't catch the other stuff on this pod, alex.garrett21, alex.garrett21 at yahoo.com. Talk to you soon.